Hi, welcome to ToddFun.com, where I do whatever I think is fun. What we're going to cover today is the installation of a new toilet. But not just any toilet, an automatic toilet with a remote control. Yes, it washes and dries your butt. It does a few other things too, and we'll cover those as well. I'm actually going to do two videos of this. One is going to be essentially just looking at the equipment and kind of describing the equipment for this automatic toilet. Then the removal and installation of the new toilet, along with the plumbing and the electrical. If you're only interested in the functionality of this toilet, then skip to the next video, which will be just a demonstration and a review of the product and its functionality, in case you're thinking of buying one. Okay, so first we'll cover the bowl itself. We purchased this toilet not because we wanted an automatic washing and drying toilet. We purchased it because our house came with really cheap toilets, like $99 toilets. They have terrible flushing. You take 2 or 3 flushes to get them to flush, and that's really annoying. So when we started searching for a really good flushing toilet, this Neorest Toto model toilet came up as a real powerful flushing toilet. Over here, Alex.
Wait. Toto. That's Toto. The company that made it.
Right. So this toilet came up as a really powerful toilet for flushing because it doesn't use a tank. It's a tankless toilet. It actually uses your full water, full pressure from your house, or 40 psi, with some water valves to actually flush your toilet. And because of that, it can use a lot less water too. It doesn't need the full tank of water in order to provide the head pressure necessary to flush your toilet like a regular toilet does. It can do that with like 1.8 gallons or 1.6 gallons of water. And it's supposed to be able to flush 2 Big Macs. So we might have to try that later. But this toilet actually is a complete unit. It actually has a top too. The top of the toilet, it's the part that's actually powered and does all the rinsing and washing and drying. It automatically raises the lid when you approach. It has a timer so that it'll actually flush automatically when you walk away, kind of like a commercial system. It actually has a seat warmer in it. If you live someplace cold, we'll probably turn that off. You do need a 110 outlet, so for me, I'm going to have to show dropping one of the outlets from the sink area down to the back of the toilet to plug this in. Make sure that's GFI. This is the bottom of the toilet. It has to be mounted to the floor. If you have a wooden floor, it comes with the proper mounting equipment to mount this to the floor. I have a tile and cement floor, so I'll have to drill into the cement and the tile and put in actual cement screws. So I had to go out and purchase those. So you'll have to review your installation if you have a cement floor and change it up. Also, you need a waxed ring for the bottom. The wax ring is not provided, so you'll have to get that too. So really everything is pretty much included except for the wax ring. You have to install an outlet, and depending on how you're going to mount this, you might have to alter it a little bit. It does need a new valve, but it comes with a valve. But installing that valve on your existing water line may be something you want a plumber for. I'll be able to do that myself, and I'll show doing it. But the valve is very important. You can't use the existing valve because this thing uses the full pressure of your house to operate properly. Okay, there's a few things you're going to have to buy to install this toilet. You're going to need a wax ring. This is a 3 to 4 inch wax ring. Most of the stuff, basically everything you buy at a home improvement store. For mounting the toilet base, you should get some new tees, or however your toilet's mounted. Get new stuff, new brass. Using old brass is just a headache, and usually they're pretty much damaged if they've been installed for any length of time. You're going to want a little bit of Teflon tape. This is the actual valve that comes with the toilet. It's a high flow valve with a filter built in. But you're going to need some way of hooking this up to your 1/2 inch lines. What I choose to do is get this threaded 1/2 inch adapter that goes to what's called a shark bite. They got little shark pictures on them. And all you have to do is cut the line for your supply, and this slides right on. And I've never had one of these shark bites ever fail. We'll show using that later, but that's really nice for after reworking piping, because you don't have to sweat solder, you don't have to do any compression stuff. This is all automatic. It slides right on. You can even attach it to your high flow valve in advance with some Teflon, and then just slide it right on, and you're done. It's that fast. And I've used these for about 3 years now. I haven't had one fail yet. And they're reusable. If you have, there's a special tool to unlock these and reuse them if you have to redo your work. You're going to need a little wiring because you're going to have to probably run a 120 outlet down near your toilet, and I'm just going to fish this through from another outlet in the bathroom. That particular outlet I'm going to be fishing off of does have GFI, but just for my safety and for the safety of my guests, so that basically so everyone feels comfortable, I went ahead and bought a GFI for this new outlet. You don't have to if you're properly tapping off of a GFI line, but this way you're guaranteed that not only do you have a GFI right there at your toilet, which you're going to be sitting on and you're going to be wet, but you also have the peace of mind of seeing it there, and that will make your guests feel a little more comfortable too, probably. And having another one on the line is okay. If this one trips, maybe the other one will trip too, but at least you know that you have one for sure there tripping for you if you have a ground fault. To put that in, you're going to need what's called old work box. Basically, existing works. You cut a hole in the wall. We'll show doing that, and these little wings pop out, and it tightens into the wall after, of course, you put all the wiring in it. And then, of course, you need a cover plate for your outlet. For going around the toilet, you're going to want some silicone caulk, 100% silicone caulking, and that seals the base of the toilet to the floor if you have like tile floor like we do. You do have to mount the base of the toilet to the floor. It comes with the screws to do that, but I have a tile and cement floor, so I had to get cement screws, and that will mount that plastic flange to the floor, to the tile and cement floor. Other than that, there's really nothing else to purchase. There's a lot of tools involved. I won't cover that. You may want to get a plumber to do this install for you, an electrician. That's your choice, but we'll cover doing it anyway.
The thing that we're going to do today is take out this toilet, and I'm going to show you what we have to take out first. We have to take out 2 nuts, and one nut is pretty good, and the other nut is actually kind of rusted out, but it's not actually rusted.
Yeah, that's pretty rusted out, isn't it?
And some...
That's putty.
No?
Yeah, it's putty.
Ugh, it smells bad anyways. And we have to take this one out, and I hope we throw this one away.
Yeah, we will.
We're going to take out the hose, and that's it.
Okay, now we got the bolts off on the bottom, as Alex was demonstrating. We got the water turned off, but now we have to drain the tank. So first thing we do is we flush it. And I hold the handle down because I want all the water to drain out of the tank. And once it's completely drained, then I got to get the water out of the bowl. And you can use any type of siphoning system you want. I've got a hose here that goes down and just sucks the water out. And I put it into a bucket. Because you don't want to move a toilet around full of water.
Yeah.
You could get it out with just a sponge and lots of wringing, but this is a little easier.
Wow, there's no water in there. But now you have to flush it again.
No, there's no water in here because I turned the water off. There's no water back there. There's a little water because of that doesn't drain out. We'll suck out the rest in here too. Want to hold that down in there for me? Hold it straight in the bottom. You want to hold it straight down like that.
Yeah.
Right, straight down on the bottom. So it's pointed right at the bottom.
Hey, you got one on the foot.
Okay, we got the old toilet out, got it disconnected from the water, got it off the floor, but now we got to clean up this old wax and all the putty on the floor. Actually, some of this is cement, or it's actually mortar or grouting, I guess, for the tile. Okay, now for the wax.
Wax.
Oh wow, we got one of these. A slightly different type of wax here. It's not a. It's a wax combo flange.
Wow, that must be hard to get off.
I think that flange just comes right straight out of there. I could probably just lift it up. Yeah, it is a rubber flange.
Got some in there.
See, it's just a rubber flange. We'll have to see how that works with the other toilet. Might have to go get a different piece of wax, because you can get the wax. You can get the wax with the flange. I'm not sure I need it or not. I'll have to see. I think with this mounting I might.
What are you spraying in there?
Cleaner. Degreaser. And I'll put on some WD-40 too.
See which one stays a little longer.
Well, we got a problem. The drain is supposed to be 12 inches from the wall, and it's not. It's over an inch too close. That means my toilet won't fit. I have to cut out part of this wall so the toilet can fit back farther, because I certainly can't move this drain. Also, it's very specific where this water main comes in, this water supply comes in, and it's also too close, so it's going to have to move over and up. Otherwise, the somewhat flexible pipe on the toilet won't fit even at all at this close. Get the rest of this done and then back to the toilet. Well, we got a hole back in here. There is a stud in the way. I'll have to trim that out a little bit. I'm going to build a box that will fill this hole, because the toilet's going to have to go back in about almost a whole inch into this hole, and I'll also trim it out. So more work to do there, and then once it's all painted, then I'll get back to installing the toilet. Well, this is what we got so far for roughing in for the toilet. The toilet's actually correct. The toilet's actually the right dimensions that it should be. It's just that our house is not supposed to have this drain 11 inches from that wall. It's supposed to be 12. That should be standard, and the toilet would fit perfectly fine if that was a standard 12 inches from the wall, but they did not put that drain in properly for my house, and that's what this fuss is. And this was a bit of fuss. As you see here, I made a box, certainly an inlane with like sort of a trim for a picture frame kind of trim. That all inlays about 1.25 inches, and that gives that extra room that the toilet needs to fit back in there. I also have the new outlet here for the toilet. I dropped it from up here. And that's a GFI outlet. It's GFI protected in the other outlet, and I did test it and it works absolutely fine. So even though I was going to put GFI here, I did not. It seemed kind of silly to have GFI flipping in two different places. That might confuse you when you have to reset it. So I tested it. That's good. That's a decent GFI protection working there. So I'm just leaving it as a standard outlet there with GFI at the other outlet across the bathroom here. So that was no fuss at all. And down here, this is that high volume on-off valve that comes with the toilet. I was going to use a shark bite, but when we set the toilet in here, we found out that the flexible hose that the toilet comes with had a really hard time meeting where this was. You can see there's a little bit of a hole underneath the toilet. That pipe was actually down 2 inches and over an inch, and that pipe would not flex enough to get there. And the documentation say that that pipe has to be exactly 11 3/4 over from the center line and exactly 5 5/8 up from the floor. And it wasn't, and sure enough, that toilet, flexible pipe as it may be, would not reach that spigot properly without twisting and torquing with the mechanics inside the toilet. So I had this hole open anyway, so I went ahead and took and redid the copper 1/2 inch lines inside the wall, sweated them in properly, came out at the proper height and distance from the toilet, and now that's perfect. So this is all ready now for drilling to put in the next piece, which is a base for the toilet. But might have been a lot of work, but it was worth it. It definitely prolonged this project a day or two. Okay, this is ready for the next part. My wife has done a nice job painting this little inlaid cabinet here. Also painted the trim and puttied it all up, got it really looking nice. So now the next part is, actually we test fitted the toilet, and this tile isn't level enough for the toilet to mount. So what I'm going to have to do is put the toilet back over here. I got a pack of plastic shims, okay, and I'll put the toilet in place roughly where it needs to be. I'll level it with some plastic shims. I'll mark where those shims go. I'll then use some JB weld to epoxy those shims to the floor after cutting them so that they don't protrude from the bottom of the toilet, and that will give a nice stable base for this toilet to be mounted to. That rim of the toilet. Now inside the rim of the toilet is this adapter that has to be, you screw it to the floor if you have a wood floor, but I have a tile and cement floor, so I have to use anchor bolts to get it onto the tile and the floor. So that's the part I have to mark, but I don't want to put this on until I make sure the toilet is level and balanced with shims. But I'm going to mark for it and drill for it now, for this part. Comes with a big nice template. There's marks on the front, marks on the back. You just basically got to center your drain with the hole. That hole. That gets centered. Mark this front holes, mark the back holes. That's what we'll drill. Once we drill, for me it's anchor bolts, then this is going to go right on top of there and get anchored in place. And then there's a little nose plate that comes out front that sits inside the toilet. It keeps the front of the toilet from moving around. And that will be bolted here with these holes that will be drilled here. So those will be the next couple steps. We'll shoot a little quick video of when this is done, and then we'll move on to actually mounting the toilet. Okay, on to the drilling for where the template marks the toilet. And I hurt my back, but not doing the toilet. I was tilling the backyard, putting in a new yard, and the tiller beat me to death. So I'm still recovering from that, but the yard's done. So on back to the toilet again. Had to take advantage of some really cool days here in Arizona. I couldn't resist doing the yard when it was only like 75, 80 degrees, practically summertime. Marked. Marked. I'm going to get a center punch and hit them with a center punch so I got a good starting bit hole. Not too hard, I don't want to break the tile, just get a hole started. Well, that produces a lot of dust. I think I'll get my vacuum in here. Well, we got our shims down. Now we got to mark where the shims go, and we're going to epoxy the shims on the inside of the toilet so you can't see them. And then once that dries, we'll be ready to mount the toilet. Okay, we got the shims already epoxied down and they dried overnight. Now we're putting in our flange for our drain. We got our wax ring underneath there, some large fender washers and some T for the toilet tees. And now we're going to bolt this down.